Okay, I'm in an Afterglow test scene in Blender. So this is using the Afterglow lighting asset library. I'm in the cycles rendering engine, and light is being provided by the ceiling plane, this thing floating around up here. In my lighting tools, I have mapping provided in the shader nodes, which lets us put all kinds of image textures on the ceiling. So right now I'm just going to check the cross thick and thin options. So I'm going to drag these into the shader editor and see if they're useful. I'm plugging the flip direction color into the vector down in the 1x2 ceiling image mapping because it's a 1x2 image. And immediately that's very strong, very imposing, and very cool. Naturally, because the light is being provided physically in cycles, we can see the reflections on the objects. And I quite like that this could be used for like strong compositional angles. Naturally, if we plugged in the thinner version instead, then we would get less light coming through, which again is kind of cinematic. And actually I'm feeling like maybe I'll up the volume density now. And also let me really put up the light a bit. Going to turn down the volume slightly. Now this would be a very difficult one to render, right? Because volume and emissive lighting is really going to crunch through your samples, but I think there's a very specific smooth mood here that is quite nice and quite difficult to achieve otherwise. Notice how the lighting is very soft and seems to bleed off of everything. Let me get rid of Suzanne now and just focus on this sphere. Now this sphere has normal surface details on it. If you look closely, you can see the polygons as well, because it's not a perfectly round sphere. But I do like the complexity of the reflections coming from both the ceiling and the floor. And it goes to show that it would be difficult to get this kind of interesting lighting pattern using just lamp objects alone. So yeah, I think these cross ones are interesting. And here's a little creative tip for you. With the flip direction node, which is just supposed to flip the image, with the cross ones, you can actually use it as like a thickness value. That wasn't any intended functionality, but it's just a really cool side effect. Also, let's take the color shift while we're here, and I'll pass the thin cross in. There we go. Now that's really strong, but we can tone that down a bit, and I'll reduce the strength. Now we can get something really moody going on. Very interesting. Look at that. When we're not focusing on the ceiling, we've got a completely unique lighting profile on this sphere. So I think that's quite interesting. Afterglow is available on Gumroad and Superhive if you want to play around with the tools.